Oh, hey, welcome back. Welcome back to another CANNAB episode, man, where we all kick it with you. See what's high, see who's high. I know I'm high. Are you high? Smash the like button if you are, man, because today we're going to stay fly. And today's episode is about a lot of different stuff, man. It's about harvesting, and everyone wants to harvest those potent, sticky, nice flowers, man. And today's episode, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break all that down for you guys, man. So shout out to everyone that's in the chat, everyone tuned in, everyone watching right now. If you're watching right now, drop a comment, hit that like button. Let me know what's going on in your grow. Have you harvested before? Are you close to harvest? Have you ever harvested a plant before? That's today's question. And if you have harvested a plant, what's the most you gotten off of that plant? And was it good? Was it not good? Was it like a bunch of bush, or was it like something really nice and tasty, potent, sticky, dank, nice, and all that good stuff? So let me know if you guys have done any of that stuff, because today is about harvest, man. So shout out to everyone tuned in, man. And the best part is, right after this episode, we're gonna actually have a Patreon only live. We're gonna hop into the garden, show you guys different stuff. We got everything set up, man. I just can't wait. So I don't want to spoil anything, but if you're on the Patreon, maybe you should consider hopping on, man. Show some love. But yeah, man. So today's episode is gonna be a banger, man. Drop it in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what you're rolling up, and what's going on, man. I'm seeing everyone tune in. Big ups to Mr. Awesome Badass, Nick Candler. We got Andrew and Amanda as well. Norma G, of course, my bro. Norma, how's it going, man? Yaga Frost, what's going on? Ruse, Goofy, Grow, and everyone tuned in. If you're a VIP in the ICANN fam, smash the like, man. Smash the friggin' like, man. We got slaps going out to VIPs as well. Joseph, I have not sent yours out as yet, but you will be getting them very soon, man. So big ups to everyone tuned in, man. And you guys see I got the new Diesel Dog hat on and everything, man. You guys definitely support. Cop some of that good Diesel Dog clothing, man. Diesel Dog. Great designs. We got a lot of 420 gear going on, and I'm working hard on it for you guys. So show some love, cop a hoodie, cop a t-shirt, and support the fam, man. Things are gonna work out well if you got a hoodie and support the fam. You'll get good blessings and you'll get good luck in your garden and all that good stuff. So show some love, man. Show some love for sure. Now today's episode is also, as usual, you guys got to check out the Mars Hydro lights. You know we got some banging Mars Hydro lights. The SP3000 is a banger, man. I actually posted that on my Instagram. It's probably the most versatile light I've ever owned. It can fit into any closet, any 4x2 tent, any rectangular space. That owns that shit. Because you guys will probably know a lot of these recent lights that come in the big square shapes and stuff are perfect for 4x2s and 5x5s and stuff like that. But once you get past that, you got a really irregular space. It's very difficult to fit some of those big lights in there. So that's just something to worth considering, man. I love my Mars Hydro SP3000, and I would not trade it for anything in the world, man. Honestly, straight up. So that's it, man. Now let's get into today's episode. Like I said, man, it's going to be a banger. The ICANN fam show is always a banger. Shout out to Cat Bar Jones, everyone tuned in right now. Much love. If you're tuned in right now and you watch some and you got some banging plants, man, and you're getting close to harvest, smash the like button, because today's episode is all about harvesting, man. And everyone wants to find out, how can I get those nice flowers, man? How can I get some of those potent buds, man? Well, there are a lot of different things that go into it, of course, as you would expect, right? So a lot of people have actually posted some banging flowers on the Discord, man. If you aren't on the Discord, join up on the Discord. A lot of people have posted some banging plants, and I'm just so happy to see that, you know, a lot of people in the ICANN fam, a lot of people in the community are growing some of these fantastic plants, man. I'm talking some straight fire, some absolute fire, beautiful buds. And even if your plants are not looking the way you want them to right now, the great thing is that a lot of people are in there to help, and a lot of people are helping people through little sticky situations. So even little instances of newt burn and stuff like that, people can overcome that because you got like help. Seedling stage, pretty difficult. I'm going through it right now. If you hopped on the Patreon live, you're going to see a lot of the stuff that's got going on, because I promise you got some crazy things going on in there. But yeah, man, definitely hop onto the Discord. The Discord link is right there in the chat for you guys. And first off, you know, we always got to show you guys different stuff that are going on in the community. The community is the kind of community. The community means a lot to us. So big ups to San Francisco, man, because San Francisco's got a lot of great stuff. Oh, wow, what is this? What is happening? Wow, I thought San Francisco was going to be out there, but I guess not. I guess it's not really in the mood for us. So, San Francisco, here we go. San Francisco is back on it. I thought I was trapped in the Matrix for a second, guys. But San Francisco, yeah. They are doing some great stuff, man. This new farmers market just for cannabis, man. If anyone is out in San Francisco, you guys need to let me know how this shit is, man. Like, I've been to a lot of farmers markets, and farmers markets are great. You can do so many different things out there. Like, farmers market, count me in, dude. I'm in that shit. Link me in that, man. I'm in it for sure. But I've never seen one for cannabis, man. Usually, what? That's pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think that's personally perfect. But what would you find out there? Would you find like bags of soil? Would you find like, is it for growers, smokers? Is it for like a bit of both maybe? Do you find like, I don't know, bongs, glass, stuff like that, jars? Who knows, man? A lot of different stuff. So drop it in the comments and let me know if anyone who's in the chat and watching this video right now, if you've lived out in San Francisco, if you are there right now and you've experienced this market, because this is a new type of farmers market, but instead of buying fruits and vegetables, you gotta buy some of that famous California crop, man, that famous Cali crop. And it seems that it goes past just glass and stuff, because you can get straight up flower. I'm talking it's entirely dedicated to our favorite plant, man, and everything about it. So you can go out there and you can buy some of those nice flowers, nice stuff, man. And a lot of people can go and celebrate. And shout out to our Phil Crew, man, the owner of Mendocino Farms. He smokes a joint of his own goodness during that recent farmers market. So if I was out there, man, I would be stoked to hit up this farmers market, because I've never seen anything quite like it. I've been to some events and stuff like that, but a farmers market like this, where everyone of all ages can partake and just not be taken advantage of because you're a partaker in the plant, that is friggin' amazing, man. So as usual, we gotta big ups where big ups is due, and as they say, you gotta give Jack his jacket, and that's exactly what we're doing here, man. So shout out to all the good people who are making this possible out in San Francisco for this farmers market, man, because this is pretty dope, man. And a lot of different people are out there, and a lot of different cultivars and breeders and farms and companies and stuff go out there. So I'm seeing we also got Sun Roots, man. This is the founder, Forrest, man. Shout out to Forrest, dude. If you guys know Forrest with 2 R's, Forrest Gardner, he shows off a piece of his flower, man. And this is and he's from the Sun Roots farm, so a lot of different great stuff going on in the community, man. And we're out here bringing it to you guys in a concise package, smashing it at your front door, and that's what's up, man. So as usual, but today's episode, like I said, it's all about harvesting, man. And harvesting is super, super important. A lot of people want to figure out how they can get the best harvest and how they can do that. So let's get into the harvest section, man. Because I know I recently harvested and I recently dried. And I dried for a little bit longer than I usually would have, man. Usually I would dry for about, 10 days, just because the climate where I'm at is super dry. I try to aim for 10, but I left it for about 14, man. I left it for 14, 15 days, a little bit longer than I usually would have. I did not have carbon filters running, no AC unit, Infinity, none of that stuff running. And dude, honestly, it was a little bit drier than I would have liked when I, trimmed it all up and everything, man. I actually did, I think I did the trim on a live video recently with you guys and trimmed all that stuff up, man. And if you guys are not on the Uncensored channel, definitely check out the Uncensored channel, because on the Uncensored channel, that's where we do all that raw shit, man. All that dirty stuff. If you guys like some of that dirty stuff, then definitely check out the Uncensored, man. The Uncensored channel is where it's at, man. 100%, because that's perfect. Anyway, guys, straight up, harvesting is super important, because that's where you can make or break your grow. After all those months of hard work and stuff like that, you want to make sure that everything is working out well. And not only is everything working out well, but you get the best flavor, the best taste, the best everything from it, man. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to disrupt your trichomes. You work so hard to get to that point. You don't want to screw everything up, right? And you can screw it up super easily. A little bit too much humidity in the drying tent, you can get bud rot, you can get mold, you can get serious issues, pathogens and stuff like that. Fungus, man. And yeah, I said it, fungus, bud rot. These things don't sound good. If that happens, you just got to flush that shit straight down the toilet, man. I didn't think it's worth it, bro. Straight up, I didn't think it's worth it. It's just not. So these are the things I'm talking about. And then if you go too far the other direction and you go too dry, you can just end up with some really crispy stuff that has that what we call that Colorado crumble, man. It's super cry, Colorado crumble, crumbly, super dry. Like out here where I'm at right now, the RH is 38%, bro. I've got a little thermometer gauge right next to me right now, 38%. And that helps me understand my surroundings and understand exactly what's going on, when it's going on, how much is going on, and why it's going on, and what I need to do to fix it. So simple things like that is monitoring your environment, man. And I think that's one of the first things you guys need to understand about drying and curing, harvesting for that maximum strength and quality, man. It's all about the environment. Now, harvesting is not always a cut and dry process. I know we have to cut and dry, yeah, but it's not a cut and dry process. I guess no one liked that joke. Anyway, I'll save it for the joke of the day. But to get the most out of your plants, there are a few things that you can do and a few steps that you can 100% take, man. So first off, like harvest, yes, it's a crucial moment in any plant's life, right? But the details about how to actually go about it is not really, applicable to everyone because people live in different circumstances and environments, right? So what may work for someone may not work for someone else. So someone saying, yeah, I do a long, slow dry and I dry for 14 days at a RH of 60% and everything like that. Well, that works out great for you because that's probably where you're optimizing, where you're chilling at. But where I'm at, my shit gets super cold. Like I can get 16 degrees Celsius indoors, 15, 14 sometimes. And it's always almost like 35, 36, 37% RH, which is super dry. So those things may not make it conducive for me to tell everyone dry for this amount of time simply because my drying time may differ from someone else's, right? So you guys need to always keep that in mind. When it comes to drying and curing, there's no one size fits all way to this shit. And a lot of people overlook that. And a lot of people are like, yeah, well, this guy says you got to do a long, slow dry and cure. And this guy, he's a great grower and has some great pictures of plants on his Instagram. But homie, it's not all about that. So you got to figure out what works for you where you're at. So like I said, get one of these little thermometer, meter things, hygrometers built in, and that'll tell you what's going on, how much is going on, and what you need to get at, right? So that'll tell you if you need to bring your RH up, if you need to get your RH down. It'll tell you what you need to do. I'm seeing a question coming in from Mozambique. Is 45% RH good in flower? That's not bad at all. Someone actually asked me recently if 70% is good, and I was like, okay, you need to probably start off at 70% when you're in veg. If you're in veg, 70% is fine. Seedling stage, that's fine. But as you work into flower, as soon as you flip the plants to flower, you want to start to bring that humidity down, bring that RH down. As the plants get further into flower, bring the RH a little bit lower down. So I would say 40% is a little bit on the lower side, but it's okay. It's not bad. You would not see any real negative impacts unless you got a real finicky phenotype that you're playing around with. But other than that, everything should work out okay. But I would say maybe try to get it up a little bit more. Sometimes simple things can help you increase humidity, like getting another plant in there. If you got 2 plants in a tent as opposed to 1, the humidity in the tent will raise, like those plants have leaves that exude all sorts of odors and carbons and stuff into the air, and that actually releases humidity into the air. So if you got a lot of plant matter and stuff, you can just throw that into the tent, and that'll actually increase the humidity. Now it's all about managing that humidity. So 40%, 45%, 50%, anywhere around there. For me, I've had good experience with, man. I've even pushed it. I've gone as high as to around 60%. Even though when I'm at 60, I am a little bit concerned. I'm like, okay, maybe I got to watch out for stuff. Make sure there's no dry spots. You want to get oscillating fans in, get some circulation going, make sure everything is running nicely, because if not, that mold and butter rot can creep up on you, man. And it can really creep up on you. You think it's not there, and then the next second, bam, it's there. It's like, what just happened? Ooh, I got Hadouken and all kinds of shit from this mold, man. This fungus is really kicking my ass. So straight up, guys, just be aware of your environment. That RH too high can murk your shit. I'd rather have a little bit lower RH than higher RH during flower, just because that way I think I can manage it a little bit better. And usually 30% is actually a little bit low. So let me correct myself. 40% where you're at and where I'm at right now, I'm about 38. That's not that bad. And if you put those in a closed, sealed up environment, it'll probably increase just a couple percentages more. So it's all about where you're at in flower. And that leads us to the next thing, man. Timing is everything, man. Timing is straight up everything. Because if you ain't timing it right, what you doing? So let's get into timing. When it comes to actually harvesting your plants, man, that's the first step. So before you even put anything into a jar, before you even dry, cure, do any of that good stuff, you got to harvest the shit, right? And harvesting it is the first step. Is cutting it. And you got to time that cut right. When am I going to cut? Cut it. When am I going to cut it, man? Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're not cheating yourself out of a lot of resin and trichome production. If you cut them down too early, you risk losing a lot of that resin and trichome production simply because the plants have not bulked up yet. It's not gotten as fat as it could have. You really want it to get nice and fat. I've seen plants fatten up a lot in the last couple weeks before harvest. I'm talking 7 days. You can see a difference, man. That shit starts to fatten up. I actually posted a video on the Uncensored channel. I'll be going live tomorrow where I was like, damn, look at these motherfucking buds. These bitches are fattening up. Yo, what's going on? And that is exactly what you want. You want those fat, nice flowers at the peak of their potential, man. The peak resin, the peak trichome production, the peak THC level. That's what you want. If you harvest too early, your flowers will lack all that stuff, and they'll lack THC and a lot of other essential cannabinoids. But if you harvest too late, then the resin containing some of those cannabinoids will degrade. They'll just break down. Your flower will not taste as tasty as it could have been. And you may get like a lot of amber trichomes on there. It'll be covered in amber trichomes. And, you may just find that the taste that you were looking for, the peak potency, it's just not at that peak potency anymore. But that's not to say it's a bad thing, because some people like that. You get a lot more of a lethargic effect, a real couch lock effect, and a lot of people actually look for that. So personally, I go for about 70 to 30% cloudy to amber trichome. So I like a little bit of cloudy with some amber mixed in there, and that way you can really dial in what sort of effects you're looking for, how you want it to taste, how you want it to feel, how you want it to pull, how you want it to toke, all that good stuff, man. And now there are countless strains and phenols available out there. There are a lot of different people, a lot of different cultivars, guys. You all know it's crazy the amount of different phenols out there, but there are a lot of different specifications when it comes to each of these phenols. So some different ones may have different flowering times. Some of them may have different flowering patterns. Some of them may have fatter flower structures. Some of them may have skinny flower structures. I've recently grown a couple of strains from Fat Cat Labs that had like some really thin bud structures, man, really thin, but it tastes and smells great. But I've also grown some flowers that have some fat bud structures. So it's all about the specific cultivar that you're running, man. What are you running? What do you got in the soil, man? And that will also sort of play a role in when you harvest, how you harvest it. Because simple fact, guys, fatter flowers, big buds. Everyone loves those big buds. If you ain't doing big buds, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Bruh, you don't like big buds? I like big buds and I cannot lie. So everyone likes big bud, guys. But with those big buds comes big risks of mold and bud rot. Because a lot of people who I've spoken to, and personally I've grown some fat ass flowers, Girl Scout cookies, some of my first grows, massive nugs, massive. I'm talking big boys. Big girls, rather. And when I dug in there, I realized there's like fungus and shit growing in there. Simply because I was growing out in the Caribbean. The RH was slightly on the higher side of things, like 60% around there, 60, 61, 62. And, a regular grower would think, okay, 62%, that's good for keeping my flowers in the jar. So that should be good for flowering, right? But with those fatter flowers, you run that risk of mold and bud rot hiding out in there, man. So you want to make sure that you avoid that. Sometimes even with those big fat flowers, if you're in a place where it's super humid, get a dehumidifier in there, man. I got some big 40-pint ones and stuff that I've used in the past. You can get that for like $100 on Amazon, $150, and you can get one of those in, and that will save you a lot of headache and so much flour and harvest, man. It'll save you so much flour that it'll pay back for itself. So don't even worry about that. Like the flour that you'll get if you're living in like in a place like Florida or somewhere like that, super humid, definitely consider something like that. But if you're in Florida or somewhere like that, maybe you shouldn't be growing. I'm not giving anyone advice to grow. Anyway, now there are a lot of different things, like I said, that you can do and that you guys can take into account. Different cultivars got different specifications, and flowering time and bud structure and size is only one of them. So like I said, some of them may run a little bit longer, some of them may run 8 weeks, some of them may run 12 weeks to flower, and that way you can realize, okay, I got a little calendar. I think I mentioned this on the last episode. Get a calendar, guys. Get a little calendar. Write down when you flip the plants to flower. Okay, so today is the 9th of March. I'm going to flip today. I'm going to write flip to flower on the calendar. And then I know, okay, I'll flip to flower on this day. I can give it about a week for the plants to transition, because plants also need that a little bit of time to transition. And then I can keep things in check. I know this plant should run for about 12 weeks based on what the back of the manufacturer specification says. And then that way you can be like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on them. I'm going to keep my USB microscope. I'm going to keep my jeweler's loop out. And I'm going to know when it gets closer to that time, I'm going to start to dial in. I'm going to look in and see what's going on here. Is this ready to be harvested? This looks like I got a bit of cloudy on there. Maybe I can wait a week or two more for some more cloud, some more those trichomes, man. And that's a great way to get things going. Real simple, real easy way to do it. And like that's one of the best ways, man. Now, a lot of people also ask about flushing for flavor, man. A lot of people ask about flushing. Now, flushing is super controversial, bro. Do I flush? Do I not flush? Do I put it in the toilet? Do I not put it in the toilet? I don't know, man. Drop it in the comments, man, if you're watching this video right now, and let me know what you think about flushing. Do you flush? Do you not flush? If you have flushed, what have the results been? Like simple stuff like that. I know I've tried it. I know I've pulled some nice fades with it, but does it actually make a difference? There's been science, Dr. Bruce Bugby and stuff like that has put out all sorts of reports and articles on it, man. And a lot of people have spoken on the topic. So does it work? Does it not work? Do you do it? Do you not do it? There's a lot of stuff out here that's bro science, but you know what they say? Better bro science than no science, man. Fact, straight up. So, bruh, I think I'm going to have to say flushing is one that some people can do. Some people can get a benefit from it. Some people may not get a benefit from it. I know for sure it's super freaking controversial. I also know that a lot of people tuning in right now who have not hit that like button. So definitely hit that like button if you're not watching. If you're watching this and you haven't hit that like button, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Please hit that like. But anyway, man, so flushing is something that can help. It can be beneficial in certain circumstances, for sure. It can remove a lot of that salt buildup and stuff from your growing medium, and it can also force your plants to use up their sugar reserves. So in that way, it can be beneficial, right? And using up those main sugars and those remaining sugars that are actually in the soil ensures like a smoother tasting, flavorful taste, right? Flavorful enjoyment, experience. That's the word I was looking for, experience. And, it just tastes a lot better. So to properly flush your stuff, you probably need to give them only pH balanced water, for the last 1 or 2 weeks of the flower cycle. And a lot of people, say, they do leaching and stuff like that, which is pretty similar, but at the end of the day, like, it's all about what works for you. So there's no right or wrong answer to it. Like if you ask an organic grower if they flush, they'll probably say no. But if you ask a synthetic grower if they flush, or a DWC grower if they flush, they'll probably say, yeah, I switch out the water all the time and I try to get some of those minerals out of there. So a lot of people do it, and for me personally, I don't see a right or wrong answer in it. I see it as dependent on your style of grow. So a lot of different people have different impressions and different varying reasons on why they may do it, why they may not do it, a lot of the different sort of stuff. But for me, I don't get too hung up on it, honestly. I've run grows where I've not flushed, and I've run grows where I've flushed, and I've not really noticed a whole lot of difference in the taste of the final product. Where I have noticed there is a lot of benefits to, just dialing in to get that proper final taste and product and the max potency out of your flower is in that dry and cure. So the dry and cure that's where everything gets dialed in. Not a flush, man. Like a flush. What's a flush, dude? Fuck a flush, bro. We ain't out there trying to flush it. Just fuck a flush, right? But if you really, are getting into it, you really want to dial in that cut, dry, and cure, man. So let's get into some of that cut, dry, and cure, dude. Because the cut, dry, and cure is where a lot of people overlook. Now, a few days before you actually plan on harvesting, what I would say, guys, is if you got a super bushy plant, start to prep the girl. Like, if you gotta, she's a cute girl, bro, but you gotta prep her, you gotta prep her, rub her ass down, make her feel good. Okay, don't rub her ass down, because plants don't have asses. I know, I'm just joking, guys, I'm just joking. I know my jokes are pretty lame, but just prep her. Like, if she's super bushy, take off a couple of those fan leaves as we get closer to harvest, man. I know having a beautiful fade, sometimes it looks great, but you can just chop off some of those lower ones. Some of the lower ones, sometimes that may help a lot. But I always predicate this on your environment. So it goes straight back to the environment, guys. If you're in a super dry place where I am, I pretty much leave all the plant matter on there. I don't take anything off. If you're in a super humid environment, then definitely take some of that off. But either way, removing a couple of those fan leaves, a couple of those big boys and stuff that may, cause damp spots and stuff like that in your drying tent, those ones you may want to get off. A little bit of air circulation through and around it is never a bad thing, man. But I like to say, don't take off the sugar leaves. The sugar leaves usually coat around the flower like a nice little bud blanket. I've literally seen people chop their whole plant down. I'm talking the whole plant is chopped down, and they just the plant is still up, guys. It's still up, but all the leaves are chopped down. There's nothing on it. It's like a plant, stalk, and buds. That's all that's on there. I'm like, dude, what did you just do? Like, why did you do that, man? But again, it all depends on your environment. So if you're in a super humid place, maybe super harsh wet trimming like that is something that works for you. I don't know. But even when I was out in the Caribbean, that's not something I did. I tried to get my RH down into a position where I can have a lot of plant matter on there, and that dries slow and nice for me. Because a lot of the times, the more plant matter you have on there, the slower everything dries. The less plant matter you have on there, the faster everything dries. So that was one of the biggest mistakes I made with one of my first grows. One of my first grows was not a flower grow, and I did the same thing. I ran a lot of different plants, and I just harvested them, man, and I cut off a lot of the leaves and left the buds on there and put them to dry. They dried in like 2 days. 2 days! Like, bro, what is Matt doing, bro?
Bruh.
Did anyone talk to Matt about properly harvesting this stuff, man? I don't know, man. So those are a couple of things that I would definitely say a lot of people can look out for, man. It's all about where you're at. Leave some of the plant matter on, take some of the plant matter off. Don't get too hung up on it, but there are a lot of different ways you can do it. It all depends on your environment. Your environment literally predicates what you're growing and your cutting, drying, and curing processes look like. So, like I said, if you're in a dry place, it will look different from someone who's in a super humid and moist place. Because you guys will have to do different things. One person's got to worry about bud rot. One person's got to worry about Colorado crumble, right? So, here we go. Differences, right? Now, when you guys dry and cure, what I always like to say is aim for that long, slow dry and cure. But again, it's predicated on your environment. So if the longest dry you can get, hanging it up and drying it where you're at is like 10 days or maybe 7 days with all your plant matter on there, then okay. Maybe sometimes you can try to get a humidifier in there. But for me, I always prefer to have the slightly slower dry than having a bunch of humidifiers. Because too much humidifiers, if you have it sort of directly pointing on your flowers, you can get that water dripping off the flowers and stuff. And that's absolutely not good, especially if you're in a grow tent. If you got it in like a whole room, then maybe that's a little bit better, but then the room has got to be a dark room because you don't want any light degrading that THC hitting it, and that's another thing. You want to dry in a dark place. A lot of people say that there's a myth. Let me know what you guys think about this myth, man, because I personally think this is a myth, but a lot of people say that drying plants upside down can actually allow for gravity to bring any remaining juices down to the buds. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's a bruh moment or if that's a perfect moment. I ain't sure, but I'm not sure. So let me know what you guys think about that one, man. But that's something that a lot of people talk about, and it's like one of those bro science myths, man. So straight up, after about 5 to 7 days, if you're in a super dry place, or maybe if you're in a more moist place, 7, 10, 14 days, your plant should be relatively dry. You can do the branch snap tests and stuff like that to tell when it's dry, and you can just trim them. Now, it's always important not to handle your flowers too much during the harvest process. Get them in some nice trim bins and stuff like that so you can collect some of that trichomes that may drop off. But you want to try to leave, personally, I want to try to leave as much trichomes on there as possible so that when I'm enjoying my flower, I enjoy the trichomes and I get the full entourage experience. It's great to collect keef and stuff in the trim bins and stuff like that. That's awesome. But that's not my main goal. So anything that I get by a byproduct, that works great. But if not, then, just don't handle them. Don't hold the flowers. Leave enough stalk that you can hold on to the stalk and you can trim the flowers, and, you can get in there without disrupting too much of the trichomes. You don't have to be holding on to the buds itself to cut that, because that's straight up failure, man. You don't want to do that. Now, again, you want to make sure that the flowers are properly dry before you put them into jars. If you don't, then you can end up with bud rot, mold, or those sort of stuff. A lot of people use jars. That's the old school traditional way of doing it, but a lot of people have been using more grove bags recently. So a lot of times you don't actually have to do one way or the other. You can probably do a mixture of both. Try some grove bags, try some jars, see which one works better for you, which one was the better way in terms of what you were looking for. I still mix them up, man, so I don't have a straight clear cut winner for that. For you guys, I like the old traditional jar methods, and I also like the grove bag method. So I still got my jars, I still got my grove bags, and it's just really nice, man. A lot of people ask, do you need to heat seal the grove bags? I had the grove bags episode of the Talkin podcast, man, and they struck the channel, they took down the episode, but they said that you don't need to heat seal it, but it's a lot better if you do. So take that how you want, man. You can heat seal it, you can not heat seal it, you can reuse it, you can play around with it. Try it heat sealing it, and try not heat sealing it, and see which one works, see how it works, and which one you prefer. But there are a lot of different ones that you guys can use, and hit that discount code ICANTHC. I don't get anything from that. That discount code just saves you guys some cash. It's all about helping you guys out. I'm always here to help you guys out and show some love, man. So harvesting, drying, curing, there are a lot of great things when it comes to it, man, and a lot of different ways that people can do it, man. So shout out to everyone that's having a banging harvest, man. I know a couple people messaged me recently and said they got their first harvest and they loved it and everything was great, and shout out, because I've helped them to get to that point, and that was just I'm just feel so rewarding by hearing that, man, honestly, straight up. So yeah, man, let's continue with the show, man. Let's move on. It's all about a train. We're moving. We're keeping it moving. And like I said, we're gonna do the Patreon only live stream right after this. We're gonna hang out, get blazed, show off some plans. We're gonna do show you guys some of the new stuff we got running because we popped a bunch of new beans. You guys see I got my ethos tee on because we popped a bunch of ethos, man. And you guys on the Patreon would have voted for those, man. So shout out to everyone that's voted. And straight up, man, this is the Grow Talk segment where we bring up the Patreon topics, man. And I just want to shout out everyone that's supporting on Patreon. If you aren't, definitely hop on. VIPs get some of the best perks. VIPs get a lot of, gold box. We got packs going out to you for free. We got a lot of other free stuff, dope stuff. And if you want, you can just join up with the fam and get access to some of the exclusive content like the live streams and the Soil Yourself shows that we've been doing. So join up and show some love, man. The Patreon is for $1 a day. You can be a VIP, less than $1 a day actually, and you can be a Patreon just for like $3 a month, man. Like, come on, show some love, support the fam. But today's Patreon topic is a banging one, man. And before we actually get into that, I just want to shout out some of the new Patreons that have hopped on. Shout out to Kathleen. Kathleen has hopped on. Shout out to Chadwick. Big ups to Chad, my man. Chad. We also got Daryl Hall. Big ups to Daryl Hall. Daryl is the real ICANN fam. You know, we got a lot of different tiers. Big up to Daryl Hall, real ICANN fam in the house. We also got Mike Cranking, man. Big ups to Mike. Mike has also just joined up, man. And we got a lot of people who drop on, show love, and always got a great community going on there, man. So if you aren't on there, man, you're definitely missing out on a great community. And we got a lot of great stuff going on. Like I said, we're going to be doing that Patreon only live stream. So today's grow topic, man. And like I said, we got a lot of different topics that are coming in from the patrons, from you ICANN fam homies and growmies on the channel. The last two actually were great ones, man. So let's just jump on and see what else is today's on. Today's on is actually going to be a great one because it was actually brought up by the Elemental Gardener. So shout out to the Elemental Gardener, man. Elemental Gardener, bro, I see you, my dude. But this one is a great one, dude. So shout out to Elemental Gardener. He actually is asking about heating pads. Heating pads under autoflower seedlings in a 5-gallon fabric pot. Does it help? Does it work? Can it speed up the process at any stage of growth? I haven't seen a video on it yet. That is actually a great question, man. And a lot of people, they're always asking about autos. They're asking about what's going on with the autos. How can I run the autos? And what's the best way to get through the veg stage really swiftly? Well, personally, dude, I've had a lot of success when it comes to the heating mat. I've actually started to pull a big ass one that I had recently. Shout out to hipsters and hippies, man. It's a big ass one, but this is a great way that you can get the germination going. So it's all about getting autos started off and running right. So perfect. All you got to do is make sure to get it starting off running right. So a lot of the times the seedling mats are a great way to add some warmth just to the bottom of the germination process. So for me, I just grabbed a shoebox, an empty shoebox. I put a couple of cups of water in there. I pop the beans in, and then I put those into the shoebox, and I put the shoebox on the seedling mat. And the seedling mat was in my grow tent, and it was under a light and everything, and that's why I use the shoebox, because you don't want any light to be hitting those seedlings. Personally, from my experience, I don't want a lot of light to hit the seedlings. Light hitting water also causes mold and shit like that, so I didn't want to risk any issues or anything like that. No funguses, please. Thank you. Now, when it comes to the seedling mat, you can use it not just for germination, like I just mentioned, but once the seedlings actually, the taproot emerges, you can pop it into a solo cup filled with soil. Solo cup filled with soil, you pop it in there, you put it on the humidity dome, then you can place that humidity dome on the seedling mat. But a pro tip, which I figured out the hard way, you only learn things the hard way, bruh. If you don't learn it the hard way, bruh, then you ain't learning. But I learned that the humidity dome, you don't want it to sit directly on the seedling mat, because when it sits directly on the seedling mat, those seedlings dry up too fast, and a lot of the times they just shrivel over. And not just that, but the actual dome, it dries out super quick. So you can spray it down. It'll be super humid in there, 70% RH or whatever. The warmth from that seedling mat literally just causes all that moisture to evaporate and disappear. It's gone. Poof. Like it was never there. Like Hadouken just came through and kicked your ass and took it. So honestly, straight up, put something under there. Just get a little bit of a riser. And for me, a riser was another humidity dome, but the base. So I had 2 bases for a humidity dome, and I just sat it down under. I'm going to show you guys right after on the Patreon live stream. We're going to go through all that, but just set it right under, and that works perfect, man. So it's all about getting things to start off and run smoothly, and that's the best way to do it. And if not, then you'll probably end up in a lot of issues. Your seedlings will take really long to, just sprout, get into veg, burst through the soil and all that stuff. And then your autoflowers will flower a lot sooner than you really would have hoped. And that means you end up with a smaller flowering autoflower. That means smaller yields. That means a less happy mat. So yeah. So shout out to the Elemental Gardener, man. That is a great one. And I just wanted to shout out to everyone that's supporting on Patreon, everyone that's dropping some of those great topics on the Patreon Grow Talk series, man. Because the Patreon Grow Talk series is a great series, and it's all about you guys. You guys are always showing love, and you guys are just always bringing some great topics for us. So shout out to everyone that's supporting, man. I just want to shout out to some of the OG VIPs as well, man. So huge shout out to Mary. I see Mary's in the comments right now. Shout out to Norma G as well. Shout out to the also 48 PD off cats, 48 pissed off cats. My man Raymond, I love you, man. And we also got Mr. Greenhand in there as well, man. So shout out to a lot of people. Will Baker, my man, I love you, Will. And we got a lot of people who are supporting on there, and a lot of VIPs who are showing love and getting love back in return, man. So big ups to everyone, man. Wow, this show is going great, man. What you guys think, man? We're almost on time because we literally just got the Stoner Joke of the Day. And the Stoner Joke of the Day, of course, is going to be a good one, as it always is, man. So today's own is all about the magic technique, guys. This is what I call the magic technique. So perfect. The Stoner Joke of the Day, the magic technique. What is the magic technique? Well, let's think of it this way. I like to give you guys a story because the story time is the best way to do it, man. Here's the magic technique. So we got two stoners. Two stoners have literally visited a what is this shit called? A dealer, like a plug, right? Like what you guys would call nowadays the pusher or whatever. I don't know what you guys call them back in the day, a pusher man or whatever. Anyway, two stoners visit a new dealer, right? So a new dealer, they don't know this guy. One of them is a little sussed out. The other one is like, no, it's fine. Everything's going to be good. So they get up to the guy's crib, and not at the crib, but his place of work, his work business or whatever. And they're like, yo, I want to get 5 grams of hash, man. I want to get some of that Moroccan hash, that good hash. And the dealer's like, okay, cool. I got you, fam. Swings around, grabs his shit, cuts off a piece of hash. He's like, yeah, I got you, bro. And then he slips it into a small bag, right? And then he puts it between his lips. And then he slowly swings his head, and then he passes the bag to the stoner. Here you are, 5 grams. So the stoner kind of looks like, wait, what did this dude just do? So he kind of frowns, right? The stoner's like, dude, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, did you just weigh the dope with your lips? And he's like, yeah, man, sure, of course. Like, I got the baggie, I got the dope in it, and I just weighed it out. And he's like, no, man. He's like, yeah, sure, I just waited. Don't you trust me, bro? Stoner's like, not really. I don't think so. How can you prove it's like 5 grams? So one dealer turns to the other stoner and says, dude, go get my wife. She's in the kitchen, right? She has this special ability as well, man. Like, she can weigh the shit, just popping it in her lips. So the stoner walks out of the room and returns after a short period of time, right? And he comes back. His face is all red and shit. Like, he's like, dude, what happened? So the dealer looks up and he's like, yo, where's my wife? And then she was like, well, she's weighing the postman outside. Oh, man. That special ability, that magic technique, man. That's 100% an 18-plus joke. That's the stoner joke of the day, man. We got to flush that down. We got to flush that one down because that one was 100% 18 plus. Shout out to everyone tuned in right now. Everyone tuned in right now is always good, man. If you're watching this video, hit the like button. Hit the like. Let's see how many likes you can get on this episode. Let's see if you can smash the like counter and get the most amount of likes that we've ever gotten on the show before, man. Now, that was fucking great, man. That was actually a great one. I actually got a nice quick one for you guys. So, you guys, this one I'm going to call Today's Youth, right? And an old man, he walks up to a couple of potheads. The potheads are smoking a joint. They're just chilling out. And the old man is like, yo, all these old guys, sometimes they come up to you and tell you shit. So they're like, yo, don't you know that smoking weed makes you ignorant and, like, apathetic and shit? One of the potheads just turns to him and says, like, I don't know, dude, I don't care. That doesn't bother me. You want to hear a quick joke? He says, yeah. You want to hear another one? And he just leaves him right there. That's it. Oh, man. Perfect. So, guys, that is great, man. Smash the like button for that. As usual, we always have a great episode. But it's, of course, time to hop on to that Patreon live stream, man. So, guys, smash the like button. Show some love. Let me know what you guys do when it comes to harvest, because we got a lot of great stuff when it comes to harvest and a lot of great ways that you can improve your potency, your yields, your final taste, your final flower, because everyone wants that good taste, max strength, great quality, because that's what it's all about, right? If you're not getting the max potency, the max perfect, you ain't perfect. If you ain't getting the max potency, you wasting your time in a sense, because like you spent a lot of time on it, man. So smash the like for that, guys. We're gonna hop onto that Patreon only live stream, so if you aren't on it, definitely join up. We got a lot of different access. You guys can join up for like a couple dollars a month, and we're gonna have some great stuff. We're gonna go through some of the plants. We're gonna get lit. I'm gonna spark this big ass J up because it's about time. I just realized I did not smoke for the entire show. So thank you guys for tuning in, man. We always have a fun time with you guys. Smash the friggin' like, most importantly, hit that bell, and stay high, and most importantly, stay